Welcome along to Trip Notes. It's a New Zealand Herald travel podcast brought to you by House of Travel, Better Together. Our special guest today, you may have heard her laughing in the intro. It is a pleasure to have Rachel Hunter here. And indulge me in intro for you because you're worthy of an intro.
Okay.
So one of the most famous Kiwis on the global stage for 30 years, a TV show broadcast in over 150 countries. It's now a best-selling book, or soon to be a best-selling book. You've been on the cover of Rolling Stone, Vogue, Sports Illustrated, Face of CoverGirl of Pantene. But we've got you here to talk about Tour of Beauty. I hope that intro is okay. Rachel Hunter, how are you doing?
Rach. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
And hello to Stephanie Holmes, Deputy Editor of New Zealand Herald
I don't get
Travel.
quite the same intro, but maybe one day.
One day.
Hey,
right.
you deal with a lot of amazing countries.
Yeah, that's right. So thank you so much for your time, and we're so excited about your new book.
Yeah. No, it was probably about, 5 years late, to be honest. But it's here now, so that's good.
Yeah. Well, Tour of Beauty, so this is taking you to so many different countries, and we're going to talk about some of the places you've been. And for our destination of the week at the end of the podcast, a place that you spend a whole lot of time, which is India. So we're going to find out, because Stephanie's never been.
I've never been, yeah.
So what it's like for a female traveller to go there and, favourite spots, best hotels.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff we'll do at the end of the
Okay.
podcast.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But let's find out a little bit about Tour of Beauty and the destinations you've been with this.
Yeah, so it was 13 countries, is that right, for the series?
Yeah, the first series was 13 countries. And we first went into Korea, and Greece were the first destinations we went to when we first started filming. So Greece was first, and which was amazing. It was really the bookends of the TV show. And at the beginning, the intro, there's a lot of actual writing that I did before that. Like, how do you feel when someone tells you you're beautiful? How do you react? And I really wrote a lot of these really my thought process basically of what beauty meant, as far as the, what are we feeding our brain social media wise? All these things were 6 years ago before we even, started doing the TV show. So I literally wrote, about, 15,000 words at that point, of really going into looking at that and pulling it to pieces. The Korea and Greece were interesting because you've got the blue zones in Greece and in Korea. We didn't actually go to the particular place where those people are, but you've got a lot of people who are living very, very for very long. Longevity is quite big there. And we met George, who was about 106, and he was sitting there reading a newspaper, smoking a cigarette, and it was like, wow, having a glass of Greek wine, which is like, I think it's like 16%.
Just to say the edge off.
Yeah, and the thing is people drink there, and they're not binge drinking. They're not drinking till they, they have a drink, they enjoy themselves, and then they move on. It's a very healthy approach to that. They're not mind altering themselves. And we spoke about that in that episode. And the grapes, the bees there that we kind of got to, I was like, a bee suit? And, I kind of like, there was a little bit awkward.
I think you probably would still look great in it.
Goat meat and milking goats and seeing, just their whole way of life was very, very magical in a way, because I asked George, he's like, how have you lived so long? And he just opened his arms out and he goes, look where I live. Where's your pharmacy? He's like, here. Have you ever been to the doctor? No. And
is that what the radioactive hot springs are?
Yeah, well, I don't know about what happened there, but it was interesting going into those, because it was hot water clearly that was coming out. My skin was actually peeling back a little bit. Because I don't know whether it was because it was so hot or whether that was radioactive. I don't know. But anyway, why not? But that was really beautiful, very, very natural. You got to sit around and eat with the family, be with the family, talk with them. Saw her making the bread, kneading the bread. She got me actually completely in tears because, and that was actually on the episode where, you know, I was like, what is it? And she's like, family, love, food, you know, connecting. So that was really key setup for Tour Beauty. And then we went straight to Korea where, you know, it was way before, you know, we heard about snail face masks and all these face masks that we hear about, you know, use now, which are pretty relatively normal in our lives now. This was way before this was even in the Western culture. And I would just go into Korea and there was just packs and packs of face masks and body masks and stomach masks and boob masks and arm masks. And I mean, anything that you could possibly put on your body was there, as well as Korea has a high rate of plastic surgery.
Yeah.
So
With the whole K-pop industry as well.
yeah, exactly. And it was super interesting. And I still use, it's a little wee glittery eyeliner that they said like put in here. And I still use that because it pops the eyes. I actually haven't got it on right now, but usually if I go out, I use it. And I'm down to I'm like literally digging as you do. Like, and I'm going, where can I buy this? But you know, and they just know how to brighten your eyes. And there's a certain thing where we like cat eyes, whereas they're more, their eyeliner goes more down to be more, you know, and that puppy, like a puppy dog, like that puppy.
Did it make you sad, the obsession with plastic surgery there?
No, it's just their way of life because, you know, the thing is we have our conditioning and, you know, everybody else has, you know, each country has their own conditioning and own society and their own values and their own cultures. So you kind of have to, when you're in it, you understand it. And the thing is that, you know, we have our opinions of other countries, but go live in there and then get back to yourself and ask you, well, what did that actually feel like? Well, actually, it's quite relative to what you understand in the environment. You know, I got to interview a young girl who she got plastic surgery, and immediately I was like, oh, why does she need plastic surgery? All you need to do is love yourself on the inside and da-da-da. And, you know, how could I say that? Because I have been in this business for years and my living off my exterior beauty. And then when I actually sat down with her and talked to her, I understood, like, she had a boyfriend, she had a great job, she had all the things. The psychologist probably would have ticked the boxes. And yet she felt better about herself getting the plastic surgery. So do we then have to criticize her for that? No, it's none of our business, for one. And if it makes her happy, and who am I to say to that? So I really had to, you looked at it as a whole, and it was the experience of it got you out of your own ignorance of what your opinionatedness would have, you know, triggered up. So they were really amazing, you know, modern approach. But at the same time, I mean, in Korea, we went to the markets, which had like millipedes and bullfrog tea and all this kind of stuff in it. So there was also the really ancient ways too. I actually, when I was in Korea, I know a very good friend of mine, Sanim, who's a monk in Korea, and we met, and I was so tired. And on my one day off, I met Sanim, and he's like, we walk, Rachel. And I was like, God, it's a name. No, he goes, no, we walk. You need to walk. And then after the walk, I realized he was settling my system. And then we went out for food later. And he goes, now you can speak. Now you can express yourself more in a grounded way.
So like a walking meditation almost.
Well, he could see that I probably had been sitting, you know, because when you're working like this, you're quite restricted, where he said moving the body was quite good. So yeah, it was good to have a friend in Korea that was like, okay, on your day off, this is what you're going to do.
So a walk before eating and also a walk after eating is handy.
Yeah.
I want to go back a bit and talk about when you first left New Zealand. So when you went to Paris and you were 16 when you went there, is that right?
No, I was actually when I first started modeling, I went to Australia, and then I was like, oh, I don't really, you know, I was meant to stay over there for some time actually. And then New York and Paris and Italy came down, and they were like, they wanted me to go back to each of their countries. And I said no to Paris and Italy and went to New York. So I never actually ended up being in Paris. I would work in Paris, but not. I was actually based in New York.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was it like for you back then, like going to this big city like New York, so crazy, and leaving beautiful New Zealand to go over there?
I didn't, I'm in the process of writing another book right now where you have to, when you're in it, you don't think that way. Like, you don't go, oh my God. You just know you're putting one foot in front of the other, and it's just the process. And life isn't going to give you anything, as they say, all these ancient sayings that are so correct, unless you can, you can handle it. And it's funny, I grew up with a dad that worked in the airlines, and he was a great traveler. Anytime we got money, and we did not come from a wealthy family whatsoever, we were always, ice cream was a treat for us, and, Dad would be like, okay, we're going to go to Paris. Or my auntie who lived in Paris at the time, we'd go visit her. So travel, weirdly enough, was in our life. We couldn't afford it. But because Dad worked in the airlines, we were able to travel.
Yeah.
So that was really amazing connection. And then later so all these places weren't like, oh my God, where are we?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, this is where I'm meant to be. When I look back on it, I never thought, bewildered, like, New Zealander looking around. New Zealanders are never bewildered. I don't know where it comes from, but we are like, okay, this is cool. Okay, got it. Our sense of direction's pretty good. We have this, and who knows, maybe it's us traveling all the way, our generations from the ships and stuff,
Yeah.
We have this intrepid part to us that isn't, oh my God, where am I? It was just New York, okay. Now, as far as feeling like the connection of being homesick, I left home when I was 16 years old and moved out of my house anyway. But that feeling of when Mum left after she was there for 2 weeks, that was, of course, an adjustment, and feeling homesick. And I had a boyfriend back at the home at the time. And so it was all a little bit there, but then, like anything, God, you can feel like that in your 30s too, in your 40s,
Yeah.
But it wasn't too much of a shock, and I just was like, I wasn't like, oh my God, look, there's a photographer. I didn't know. It's like ignorance is bliss. Like, I didn't know who was a famous photographer, who wasn't, or what. I knew the magazines as far as, I thought I was going to go to New York for 2 weeks and be on a shopping trip or whatever, and or this will be fun, I'll go to a couple of go-sees or whatever. And then it was just like, oh, you're working for Elle magazine tomorrow, you're doing Harper's Bazaar tomorrow, you're going to go on this go-see tomorrow. And then it just kind of really went fast. So yeah, it just worked the way it did.
Yeah.
And then somehow you stayed grounded.
Yeah, I think we didn't have, the validation now is on social media. So there's validation there, right? Fast, instant, and you can count it. Where back then, like, you don't know how many people are picking up a magazine. The only response is if you actually go out into the public, and you knew things like, Sports Illustrated, that went into a mass market area, anything on TV. But yeah, it's very different now, I think, than what it was back then.
Yeah. What's your favorite thing about traveling now? What do you love most about it?
I would say, I've always loved it, but I do. Now I travel on my own. I traveled on my own even when I was modeling. Because that's where here's your plane ticket, and back then it was paper tickets. How funny is that? Like a paper ticket,
and forgetting the ticket was like a real thing. Oh my gosh, we forgot
Where's
the ticket.
The ticket? Yeah. And then isn't that amazing? Now we're flicking through a app and passing it through the thing. I think now is the time where I travel alone quite a bit, and I love that. which that's been pretty amazing.
Yeah. What do you love most about traveling alone? Is it...
Just being able to connect with different people at different times, and you engage with people a lot more. You're not just like that. It's more, you walk up to people and you talk to the, whoever. It's really nice. Yeah.
Are you happy just to talk to straight? Because I know when I travel by myself, sometimes I get, and I don't think I'm a shy person, but sometimes when I'm traveling by myself, I feel quite shy, and I don't like to go up and talk to people sometimes. Do you get that? Or
No.
Yeah, you just talk to anyone.
Because the moment you smile, people will smile back at you, and that's an immediate, like, that's your passport,
Yeah.
And
I always feel
people will connect to you, and either they'll say something to you or smile to you, and regardless, it just makes you feel warm.
Yeah.
And when you're overseas, you can say, whereabouts you from?
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you do that in your own country, it sounds like a pickup line. But I feel like if you're overseas, and you're lying on a beach somewhere, or you're in a cafe somewhere, oh, whereabouts you from?
Yeah.
And then you're away.
Yeah, you're away. Or something weird happens, or you're on a delay, and then you can start talking, or, and then sometimes you just don't need to. You just have a lot of that quiet time, which is good too. Yeah.
And now you spend quite a lot of time, like obviously in LA, but in Bali as well. Do you visit there?
I just came back from Bali. I hadn't been to Bali in years.
Okay.
And and it was amazing to go back there. When was I there? Like 4 days ago. So it was nice to go back there. We did a retreat there, which was really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
What kind of retreat were you on?
Yoga and meditation.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Bali's such a hotbed for that kind of retreat. There's so many there.
It is. It's really become, for many years now, it's quite the place to go for yoga and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk about some more of the destinations which are in the book in a moment, but let's do the travel bug section, which is attached to a column that I write for the Herald. So it's the joys of moaning about your holiday, essentially.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd do the things that you love and you hate about airports, and seeing as you travel so much, are there any things in particular? I'll get the ball rolling. So muffled departure calls, like it's still a mystery to me.
Do they even do departure calls?
Not everywhere, no.
Really? They're phasing
a lot of airports
they're
don't
phasing
do
them out. It's like
anymore.
either you get on the plane or you don't.
They might as well phase them out, because I've always thought, for years, like, we've got such great technology, and yet this kind of announcement
I
comes
never even
over.
listen to them.
Like, I don't know what they're saying. Why can't they get a decent PA?
Yeah, no, I just don't. I don't even notice them, to be honest.
Would you say you love or you hate airports, or is?
No, I love them.
Yeah, me too.
They're like a petri dish of explorers.
Yeah.
Because you never know, like you see some people that are going off, like, I find them quite exciting places to go.
Yeah.
Security's always fun. But I find them exciting places to go, because I think there's so many diverse people, and
everyone's either starting an adventure or they've just come back from an adventure. That's what I love about them. Yeah. It's this kind of place of hope.
Yeah.
What about when people stand still on travelators? Isn't that annoying? Like the travelator is that fun time where you get to walk at this outrageous speed that's
can
superhuman.
You not just say, just say excuse me and like walk around
like
them.
the left and the right, right?
Yeah,
Just, I guess it's like, it depends on, or when you've got a really long gate to go to and none of them are working.
Yeah.
And you're late.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Are you someone who gets to an airport really
No,
early, or
absolutely
no? You leave it quite last minute.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. And then I guess it is nice to get a little bit earlier, because you do get to explore it. Like Auckland Airport's a great airport.
Yeah, it's come
It's
along.
really amazing.
Yeah.
Singapore Airport's amazing.
Yeah.
Delhi Airport I love, because as soon as you arrive there, you've got all the yoga postures in front of you when you come off, in the mudras when you walk down to immigration. It's just such a great representation. The same in New Zealand. When you get off the aircraft, you hear and feel almost the sounds of the land, and the Māori culture's immediately embedded in you when you kind of walk through those gates and as you walk along. So I think they're It's amazing. I think airports are great expressions of like that that moment that you come in to land, you know. And I mean, look at the Heathrow. I mean, it's
Heathrow's got a lot better though, I think. I was there in
terminal
August.
I think,
and
4 is really good because
Yeah.
they have, but you just see all those Union Jacks and you just go, you know, Mr. Bean,
Yeah.
like all the Greek comedies, you know, it just
Yeah.
it warms your heart.
Yeah.
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 Oh, well, as soon as you mentioned India, let's get to our destination of the week.
Yeah.
And we can inform Stephanie because she hasn't yet
I've
been.
never been there, and I think I'm still a little bit scared to go. So I want to hear from you about why
So
I
why do
shouldn't
you
be scared.
So why do you get scared?
I don't know. It just feels so big and overwhelming, and just like, I don't know, just so different to anywhere I've ever been before. And I feel like one day I'll get there, but I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. I don't know. India has kind of become a place where it's almost like I jump in the tuk-tuk or I jump in the taxi and it's just normal. It's become quite normal in a way. But at the same time, if there is any ego part that's judgment or, oh my God, what if, India tends to really give you can't go there with a lot of ego because it'll just knock you out.
Yeah.
You know, because you're dealing with sounds and color and rituals, and it's an ancient culture, and it's beautiful. It's been a place of transformation. I wrote something just recently for them because it's a place of transformation, and it has been for thousands of years.
Yeah.
But more so when you look at it most recently, like look at the 60s. You know, when the Beatles were up in the Himalayas, like, I mean, you look how many people have this amazing moment of transformation, evolution there. And there's a reason, because you really connect, you know, to the people, to getting out of self and more into an inclusive way, as well as, you know, the devotional aspects of it. And I mean, it's an ancient culture. You feel that in the land.
It's a spiritual thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And I think it is for a lot of people, regardless of whether there's a spiritual connection, because I think regardless of how we see spirituality, all of us have that in us. And it could be even just like, oh my God, the colors there are beautiful. Aren't those women beautiful? Those men, the way they are. That's an immediate connection and response. So you're having what you would consider a spiritual moment, regardless of what idea you think of it as spiritual. I mean, my first entrance into India was with Tour Beauty. And when I landed at the airport, like I said, I saw the asanas, which I've been doing yoga for like 16 years, and then immediately got on a plane to Varanasi. Now, Varanasi is one of the most ancient cities in the world. And it was a hot, like, had some of the most incredible, I would say, you know, teachers as far as philosophy that have come out of India. And you go in there and it's the city of burning. Like, I mean, you go there and you see, you know, burning there in some of the ghats, and you sit there and you see the devotion, the love, the cry, but also the moment of salvation that is there for the people. And so it's something that we hide here. We put people somewhere and you don't see, you know, so it's a very interesting place to kind of explore.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was going through Rajasthan. You go see all the palaces and
Palaces are amazing.
Nimramya, you know, hotels there. They've changed all these forts into these beautiful experiences. And I actually got the train from Ajmer to Jodhpur, and I was like sitting there with my suitcases going, I wonder what train cart I go into, because I was like, I've got this one, but hang on, the train's that long that way and that long that way. Anyway, everyone was really, really helpful. And I got on, and then this family were like, do you want to eat? Like, have some of our food, and don't worry, we'll tell you where to get off. And so everybody's really, really helpful. Of course you have to be wise,
Yeah.
you know, and watch yourself, and I always, keep my bag. Same as here, there's
and LA, right? Like you've got to be careful. You've got to be careful everywhere.
I mean, just because you think you're in Los Angeles or anywhere else, are you going to go down a dark alley? No, you're not. Like, no, you're not going to take that risk. And the same in Los Angeles, same anywhere else. You have to use your instincts, and India helps invoke those instincts, and go on a guided tour, and find that tour that makes you, and you'll feel yourself wanting to go and have your own. You'll feel drawn to something, whatever it is, and you'll want to go and have your own experience with it, and so you'll trot off. But yeah.
And how much of India have you seen? So have you mainly been in the north or in the centre? Have you done the south?
No, I've done the south. We were down in the south with the book, and also I did a retreat down in the south as well. I'm going back to explore the south to do some of the some of the temples, more temples down there. But I spent a lot of the times up in the north in the Himalayas. I was up in Varanasi, which is an amazing pilgrimage to go to, and it's about 12,000 feet up in the Himalayas, and oh my God, I never wanted to come down. I went into one of the temples there that they do a puja, which is an offering in the morning, and you're there at 2:00 in the morning, and the chanting and the bells and the meditation, and then they have you're in this room where there's 200 people, and then the flowers that are thrown and the oils that are thrown and the sense. So all your senses are just so activated, and that to me is that moment where you start going, oh my God, you can actually get all your senses, all your dense matter you can actually get activated and go, this is what living is, so how do you access this outside this? So it's an intriguing, same as Morocco. Morocco is a beautiful, beautiful place. I love Asia and in the Middle East, I think are intriguing, beautiful places. But yeah, India is somewhere where, I mean, how big is it? I mean, I want to go to Calcutta.
Yeah.
So,
and it's deceptively big. You look at it on the map.
It's over 1 billion people.
Wow, and because you always see it next to Africa, so then India looks kind of smaller. But then it's when you're in a place like, say, Kerala in the south, which I adore, and then you realize, Kerala is there's so much to see there, and it's the size of all of Canterbury, so it's a proper, Canterbury's big,
And they have 1,500 dialects too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So India doesn't sometimes understand India in the south.
Exactly.
Did you love it?
Oh yeah, I did. I mean, the first time
the
first time I got a bit sick. So and then the second time I didn't get sick at all.
Yeah.
And so I was so pleased I went back again, and I was just a little bit more wise about, I was a bit slack with, say, things like ice and drinks.
Yeah.
And once you realize that. I mean, for me, don't let your guard down with the ice. I mean, I love having ice in a drink, but just don't have the ice.
No.
Then you'll have a much better time. But there's a place, Hampi. I don't know if you've been to Hampi.
No.
But Hampi is in Karnataka. And in the Middle Ages, it was the wealthiest city in India. Wow. And it's rich in Hindu culture. And it's all these boulders with rice fields and banana plantations. And so you climb up the boulders to temples on top of these gigantic boulders. And then you're overlooking all the rice fields.
Interview you.
You've got to go to Hampi.
Really?
Do it. So I'm saying to Stephanie, Hampi is your introduction as well as the backwaters
Do you
of
go
Kerala.
there every year now?
I'm there 3 or 4 months a year.
Right.
Yeah. At
Could
least,
you see yourself living there full time one day?
I think I'm allowed to,
Oh,
unless
okay.
I marry somebody. Anyone out there? Unless I get special permission from the Indian government, would be amazing, please.
Yeah.
Well, you're a great ambassador for the country, so surely they'd love to have you.
Yeah, and some people are very confronted in situations there, and I think that's important to talk about because we have those conditions here. We have homeless. We have, and I think it's very important. But at the same time, you find your way through that, don't you? You talk to people, you engage with those people, you give what you can, or not. But I mean, up in Rishikesh, which I spend a lot of the time, I mean, I sit down with these ladies and talk to them, and we have conversations, and it's all about that human aspect too, of really engaging with people. And I think the awareness of the work done around the world with all sorts of countries that are in this need right now for, homeless. We've got a big problem here, right? And so I think it's important for everybody to take care of their own back garden, you know?
Yeah.
Well, we know that you have other people to speak to. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
Absolutely.
Can I ask one last question?
You can, absolutely. Please
What's your best beauty tip for long haul travel?
I would say really oily moisturizer. And also you'll find your legs, I don't know if guys get this, your legs get scaly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so moisturize your legs. And also put long socks on with the moisturizer. They could be rugby socks too if you want.
Does it help with the cankles? That's, you get the puffy ankle after a long
puffy
flight.
ankle, yeah.
Do you wear flight socks?
No,
Compression
I don't
socks?
actually.
No.
Yeah.
No, but I think they're probably a good idea, aren't they?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Best of luck with the book.
Thank you.
Tour of Beauty and all the places in this book. I mean, France, Korea, Greece, Dubai, China, India. We've talked about Morocco,
It's
Brazil,
a really beautiful
Mexico.
book.
What was it in Mexico? It was the egg cleanse. But anyway, there's.
I know, the rolling the eggs over my body and then getting spat on with tequila. It was pretty amazing.
it's a
I was
lot of
like,
fun.
I couldn't believe when she spat on my chest. I was like, whoa, like what's going on
She
here?
hadn't warned you about the spitting.
No.
Yeah. I think it's always good to be warned about the spitting.
No, it's amazing.
If you have enjoyed the podcast, then do like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, and leave us a review.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And Rachel Hunter, thank you so much.
Thank
for,
you.
For
Thank
being
Pleasure
with
to
us.
talk to you.
Yeah, no, you guys too. You
Yeah.
guys too.
Cool. All
Thank
the best.
you. Thank you.